Hey, everybody. David Corson, publisher, editor, Commercial Construction and Renovation Magazine. Thanks for chiming in to Commercial Construction Talk, Coffee Talk. It's Friday, TGIF, for the Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody had a great week. It's pouring down rain here in Atlanta, so hopefully we'll get through here before the thunderstorms knock out the power. Anyway, for those of you who don't know it, this is what our magazine used to look like. I got a little halo on there, but in August of 20, this was the last issue I printed before I went 100% digital. Had White Castle, one of the largest restaurants that they had built. And this was a great looking issue. This was 148 pages. And let's see where I was at. Oh, I was at Graceland, Elvis's place. And if you haven't been there in a long time, they built that place up. It's not just the little house and the airplane across the street. They've built a whole amphitheater, and they've got all these buildings with all his costumes and all his cars. And it's an amazing, amazing place in Memphis. You know, still some of the best barbecue in the United States, as far as I'm concerned. But if you haven't been there, you should go check it out because they've done a great job in, building that entertainment plaza up. So with that said, like I said, hope everybody had a great week. And you got Memorial Day weekend coming in, and I've saved the best for last. My guest today is he's out in I think in Colorado, and his name is Frankie Spice Morelli, and he's the author of the MOBB Cookbook and Diet, Savor and Slim the Italian Way. Spice, or do you want me to call you Frankie?
You can call me anything but late for dinner.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Frankie, say hello to our audience out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
How you doing today?
Hey, listen, I'm hanging in there. It's been a long week, an amazing week, and I still have a positive attitude, and I'm psyched to go over the weekend. I've got my DU swag on because I'm University of Denver alumni, and we're playing the Fighting Irish tomorrow at noon in the semifinals for the men's Division One NCAA championship. If we win, we'll play the winner of University of Virginia versus Maryland. Whoever wins that game after our game tomorrow. If we lose, we go home. If we win, we'll play on Monday for the championship, and if we win that game, we'll bring the trophy home and put it in the case at Magnus Arena on the DU campus. So go Pios! Let's go, because all us alumni out there, I'm an ex-lacrosse player for DU. We want to get that national championship. We've got one. We want to get another one. And I was there in 2015 and watched them win that one. So go Pios, and let's get her done. So, Frankie, the way this is going to work is you're going to tell your story where you grew up, how it's look, I got the press release, so I know you had pretty diverse and exciting life. And then we'll talk about your cookbook, some of your recipes, maybe some of the people out there that might want to use them for Memorial Day, and then you'll leave your contact info on Positive Thought. So with that said, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
Okay. I started out learning how to cook when I was about 4 years old. My grandmother and my mother were outstanding cooks. And then when I was in my 20s, I built a restaurant called Morelli's Ristorante Italiano. It won the governor's award for the best all Colorado meal in the state of Colorado. In the meantime, I developed and built a pasta company, which was called Nona Morelli. It went to the NASDAQ Stock Exchange, and we went from no employees to over 250 employees, and we sold pasta in the United States and Canada. We basically did stuff for Winn-Dixie's, Safeways, Kroger's, Kraft Foods, Sam's Clubs. And I finally sold the business out after we had went public, and I got involved in the stock market. And unfortunately, that led me to a federal detention center in Philadelphia, and I got stuck in a maximum security place, not minimum. So you had everybody from white collar people to rapists, murderers, everybody. It was really rough.
Was that Allenwood? Is that where you were
No,
at?
it was Federal Detention Center, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm from Philly.
Really,
That's why I asked, because Allenwood is one of the federal detention centers that's outside of Philly. But that's why I was asking. So
okay. So basically, when I'd never been in trouble a day in my life, I'd put a lot of weight on. I was 2,000 miles away from home, and I was very depressed, suicidal, etc. I had to see the prison psychologist and the prison psychologist, and I was in a bad sort of way. being so far from my family. So then and there, I decided I needed to change my life. And I basically started working out, exercising, and got a positive attitude. I ended up getting off all the medication. I lost over 100 pounds. And along the way, I became friends with some real mafiosa. Since you're Philadelphia, I became real good friends with Nicky Scarfo Jr. He took 8 bullets to the chest, Halloween of 1989, and lived. And he told me that I shouldn't be where I was because what I did, I didn't deserve to be there, but I was there nonetheless. Well, Nicky checked me out with some guys in Colorado and found out that I was a good guy. So he basically told the gangs and everyone to stay away from me. And we talked about cooking and other things. And then I also became friends with Frankie the Ice Pick Narducci. Frankie basically uh, whacked 28 guys and supposedly over 100. I became friends with him when I was a suicide companion on the psych ward of FDC Philadelphia. And that's basically some of my mafia guys. I also became friends with Tommy Guns. His brother got whacked in a gang war in Philadelphia, and he basically had a big marijuana ring, which he never got in trouble because he had all the cops on the take. But later on, he got into a script deal with some doctors and the pagans, and people started getting whacked over that deal, and they put a contract out on his family. So after they put out a contract on his family, he turned state's evidence. And I was also friends with other guys such as Tyree the Gangster Scott, Eddie the Racer, Irish Joe Meehan, Jimmy the Beast, Jeremy the Jet, Bernie the Butcher, and several other people I met along the way. And I was also a friend with the shot caller for the Crips named John Nair Moore. But when he got out, he became a rapper under the handle Get Paid Spade. So quite a list of characters that I've known.
You know, those are some unbelievable names. I grew up in Philadelphia, and anyway, uh, my the reason why I asked about Allenwood is one of my bud's childhood friends that I grew up with. His dad ended up in the federal pen, but he went to Allenwood, and it was for white collar guys. He wasn't paying the cigarette tax. He was out of Delaware, and we used to go up and see him on the weekends for visiting days and stuff. But listen, Philadelphia is a rough town. And I grew up there. I grew up outside Pottstown, about 45 minutes or so west of Philadelphia. But I still have a lot of family and friends up there. And just like New Jersey or New York, a lot of people and have their ends naming an I or A. And it's who you know. But some of those names are just so classic. I don't even know if people do that these days or not. I don't know. But that those are just some unbelievable names that you just rattled off. And uh, and I'm sure that they were characters. Am I right?
100%. I
Yeah.
was also good friends with somebody from Norristown, Pennsylvania, Tommy Lasorda, who managed the Dodgers.
Yeah,
And
that's where I was born, Norristown. So
yes, and I was good friends with him. He actually helped me promote my company, Nona Morelli, and
yeah.
he
So,
introduced me to Vincent Piazza. So
yeah.
anyway,
So obviously he ate some of your food then, right? Because I know Mr. Lasort
yes,
enjoyed I don't care what kind of meal it is, but I'm sure if it was Italian, he enjoyed it, right?
100%. I brought him to Pueblo, Colorado, and I introduced him to all the people in Pueblo, Colorado. And Tommy helped a new convention center get approved there and helped bring baseball back to the university in Pueblo.
Yeah.
So, and he's a Brucia just like my mother, hard headed. Okay. But
Yeah.
anyway, good guy.
Yeah. So uh you did your time. and you got out. And how did you become an author? Or were you thinking about it, or did someone tell you to? How did that happen?
Well, I'd written a book before I went into prison for a friend of mine. And then when I went into prison, I wrote three books. One of them was the MOBB Cookbook and Diet. Another one was the Psych Ward. And then another one called The Outlaws of Wall Street. But my publicist wanted me to do the MOBB Diet first, or the MOBB Cookbook and Diet, because he said that it could help people. And why it can help people, it's basically about positive change, changing your lifestyle for the good, diet, exercise, and most of all, positive thinking. Those of us who have fallen in life can turn our lives around if we want to. And MOBB, MOBB, actually means mercy and optimism beyond borders. Everybody deserves a second chance. The only person that was perfect in my book got crucified. Everybody else has faults, whether it's gambling, chocolate, alcohol, cigarettes, or whatever. And our book has several stories about hope and inspiration. Everything from people that were abused as kids, went to prison, turned their lives around, people that have got off of drugs, people who have fallen our diet and got off of diabetes. It even has a story about one Italian girl who was diagnosed with autism when she was 3 years old, and she became a supermodel and sang opera at Madison Square Garden, only because she thought she could. So we can all do good if we want to. And the other thing about our book that separates it from any other cookbook on the market, first of all, it's a 12-inch by 12-inch coffee table cookbook that stands up straight, opens flat, easy to read, and every recipe tells a story. And our stories are funny and they're inspirational. We have got several 5-star reviews, and people love it because it's not boring. Also, the recipes are easy to make. You don't have to be a super chef to make our recipes, yet they taste good. Like, for example, our spaghetti in San Marzano tomato sauce with meatballs Magnifico, which are featured in the book, are outstanding. The spaghetti sauce is very easy to make because it's simple. All we use is San Marzano tomatoes, which we puree, salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of olive oil, and then we saute the garlic and then deglaze it with white wine. We puree the tomatoes and cook them on a slow heat for 4 hours. The best sauce ever, and it's simple. Because a lot of times, even really good chefs overspice. And if you use a good tomato, you don't have to do all that. So that's one of our secrets. And our book even has recipes that you can eat on your cheat day, which is very interesting. And the stories about the mobsters are funny. And I got permission from many of them to put them in the book, or otherwise I probably wouldn't be here talking about them.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, when I got the press release, I read, normally I like having athletes or people that have done stuff and they've got thick skin and then they can make their transition to the business world. When I saw your press release, I was like, oh, I got to have this gentleman on. He's probably got some unbelievable stories to tell. But the main reason I want it, because being a chef is just like being a construction project manager. You might not be using 2x4s and nails and drywall and all that, but you're still using a bunch of different materials. You're building something that someone can actually use. They're going to eat it. And that's kind of the reason why I was intrigued by the press release. And after talking to your agency, I said, yeah, I'd love to have this gentleman on. Everybody has skeletons in their closet, including yours truly. I'm not perfect. My son always goes, "Why aren't you a politician?" And I just said, well, I just don't want to get drugged through the newspapers. And I my last my last issue I talked about, I'm gonna be 61 at the end of next month. And I was looking back at my life and I was like, I ran with a rough crowd. I probably should have been thrown in jail. And but I was never in jail. And I look back, no one's perfect. And for people that have been incarcerated and they've done their time, you should definitely get a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance. And over the last year and a half, I've taken a bunch of digital classes after I went digital with my magazine. And the biggest thing that I conquered was mindset, positive thoughts. Don't surround yourself with negative people. Don't have negative thoughts. Put your blinders on, think positive, and uh, do the best that you can. And as long as you can look yourself in the mirror every night and know that you left everything out there, tomorrow the sun's going to rise, whether it's cloudy or sunny, it's going to, and you make the best of it. And so your story was very intriguing, and I'm honored to have you on here. And listen, I'm a nice Jewish boy. I love food. Italians, Jewish guys, Jewish families were very, very similar. And we all like good food, especially like, I can remember my grandmother and all the food and all that stuff. Uh, Italians and Jewish people, they're very, very, they're family oriented, but food is essential. It's like the gathering place for the family. Am I right?
100%. And we have some Jewish recipes in the book also, like matzo
Woo!
ball soup, brisket. Uh,
Oh, brisket.
there was a lot of mobsters that were Jewish, like Marilansky and Bugsy Siegel,
Yeah.
100% Jewish.
So
And we even have Lou the Hebrew Hammer in the book.
Lou the
Okay.
Hebrew Hammer. Now that sounds awesome. Let me ask you a question. When you were doing your time, did you get any of the cooks in the prison or the penitentiary to use any of your recipes, or were they just kind of stuck in their ways?
No, more important than that, I actually cooked in the kitchen, just like in Goodfellas. We used to have fresh garlic and extra virgin olive oil smuggled in. I cooked for several of the corrections officers. In fact, some of them took a bunch of the stuff that I cooked home. Okay. And I cooked for the mob bosses, other inmates. And the one of the corrections officers had the hots for me and wanted to marry me because I could cook. Of course, I had a beautiful wife at home who's way prettier. So, and my
Yeah.
wife stuck by me, and we were together 43 years, married 35 years. We went together 8 years before we got married. And my book's dedicated to her because she passed away December 15th of 2023. So my book's dedicated to my ex-wife.
Well, my
And
condolences, and it's very cool that you're honored, with your book.
And if you go to Amazon right now and look, our book's listed on Amazon. We've got 25 reviews so far. 24 are 5 star. Even the one 4 star that we have says the book's outstanding. So we've got about a 4.9 out of 5 on Amazon, and everybody that's bought it so far loves the book because say they've never seen a book quite like it. It's a book that you can give as a gift. It's a coffee table book. The quality is nicer than any celebrity chef cookbook because I had to make it a better quality than theirs because I'm not a celebrity chef. But the book weighs almost 5 pounds, 12 inches by 12 inches. It'll stand up straight and open completely flat without a binder because I did a lot of research over 5 years to get this the best quality book you could imagine. So that's what makes us difference is the quality, and it's simple and easy to use, and it's funny.
And look,
So
as a publisher, I totally get paper, binding, uh, you know, obviously your content is, the most important. You could have a great looking book, but if the content's not in there, you can't get people to, open my magazine. But I understand the whole concept of image is everything, and being able to stand up, having it on really nice paper, and that presentation, image is everything. You only get one shot. to get someone to say, hey, to pick it up or to look at it. Correct?
Yeah, correct. Plus, we have one of the top five dietitians according to global data, Dr. Sandra Frank, who has vetted every recipe in the book and has given nutritionist and analysis and incorporated many of our restaurants, not restaurants, but recipes into the three diets in the book, which are the Veni, Vidi, Vici, which means I came, I saw, and I conquered. And when she's seen my first edition, she said she could not put the book down. She said, all of us dietitians and nutritionists are boring. She said, your book is exciting and fun. And so now she's on the cover of this new edition with me. So we have credibility having her on board. And she's also Jewish. And one of my friends that I work with on a daily basis lived in New York City, right around the corner from Carnegie Deli,
Oh,
and now he lives in
Carnegie.
West Palm. Yeah, his dad owned the building right next to Carnegie, and his name's 𝐓𝐷𝐿𝐒. Okay, so he and I are best friends.
Yeah.
And but anyway, a lot of Jewish people and Italian people do business together and have forever, even since the times of Julius Caesar, going that far back.
Listen, you're a constructor, you're a content creator, just like myself. I mean, everything that I just heard, you had to have the recipes, you thought about, constructing a beautiful book, having it on nice paper, being able to stand, you thought about the marketing of it, it can stand up, it's a coffee, these are all the things that a lot of our listeners out there that are building, retail stores, hotels, shopping centers, cannabis places, craft brews, whatever it might be. They have to go through all of those same things. So, like I said, when I got the press release and I looked at it, I took a double take first, and then I looked at it, and then I spoke with the Purities. But that was my thinking, my bridge, because those are the types of people that I want to have on there that are listeners out there. Most of them are in construction, and that if they can take one positive thought or item that you can offer, that's the our this episode's is a success as far as I'm concerned. And the day you stop learning from anybody is the day you should go stop and do something else, because God knows no one knows everything. And you'd be amazed at where you learn your lessons from all sorts of different people that that you might meet. Just like here, we're meeting on Zoom, and here, you grew up, you got into food, you made a mistake, you did your time, you met a lot of people, you got some probably unbelievable stories, you had the pasta, you did all of those things. So and you're still standing today to talk about it. And it's just an all around good story. Um, if if anybody out there isn't familiar with the book and they wanted to, find it, I'm going to put your link in the description so they can find it on Amazon and stuff. But if someone wanted to reach out to you and say, hey, I knew so and so, or maybe they have an idea, or hey, maybe could I use that recipe in my restaurant or whatever? How could someone reach out to you?
Well, they could call me for one.
Yeah, leave your cell.
In
Go
my
ahead.
719-470-3709. They could call me anytime, night or day. They could text me. So that's one thing. Or they could email me at Morelli, MORELLI, JF, .com, or .net, I'm sorry. And, but the best thing would be to call me or text me again at 719-470-3709. And
Yeah,
also, you're going to have several books to give away to your viewers.
awesome. So, and for those of you who don't know, 719 is in Colorado, so that's Southern Colorado, down in Sea Springs. You're probably somewhere around there, correct? Is that where
I'm
you're?
about 30 miles south of Colorado Springs.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that if those you don't know, Denver, Colorado Springs, I-25, an hour and a half south of Denver. So, but there's I've been all over, skied every mountain in Colorado, so very familiar with the state, and all my time out there. So, if anybody wants to reach me, I'm at David C at ccr-mag.com. Listen, Frankie, he got on here because his publicist sent me a press release. And like I've told you so many times on all these episodes, I look at everything. All right. And then we get a ton of this stuff, but I picked his because I liked his story and I thought it was a nice way to go into Memorial Day. We talk enough construction on the show or in the magazine. It's always nice to get a little perspective and see what, diversity as far as, you know, people that, maybe have some, getting incarcerated ain't easy. And it probably wasn't. And being in federal prison, I don't care what kind of prison you're in. It's not. It's got to be gut wrenching. But you made it through. You made friends in there with the guards, with other inmates, etc. And now here you are. You're getting your second chance. And I just think it's a great story. And like I said, everybody's got skeletons in their closet. So no one's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Some mistakes are worse than others. And and listen, that's why but I'm all about, listen, if you've done your time for your mistake, I got no problem with it because God knows I've made plenty of mistakes. Um, and look, you've made a positive out of a negative. So, kudos to you. And, you know, bridging on that, if there was one positive thought after everything that you've gone through that you'd want to leave with our listeners out there, what would it be?
Well, first of all, by me getting incarcerated, I helped other people, and everybody can help other people. In fact, when I got sentenced, three families that I helped testified on my behalf because I saved their loved ones' uh, lives. So if you can help other people, there is nothing better than helping other people. First of all, you got to help yourself, but at the same time, by helping yourself, you can be an example to help other people change their lives around and be an inspiration to them as well. So that's what I'd like to leave everybody with is think positive and be a good person, and you will be rewarded.
I'm right there with you. Listen, uh, anytime that you can help anybody, it's better to, give than it is to receive, as far as I'm concerned. And if you can help anybody, whether it's mentally, physically, whatever it might be, I think that's a very good trait to have. And um, that's the way that's kind of the way I live my life. So I'm right there with you. Every day, like this year, I've been running 5 to 6 miles. After I get done, I'm gonna go run out in the rain. Anyway, I do a little video talking about my day, but I leave a positive thought. And I just put one in there the other day about, I'm here to win. Okay. Every day I get up, I'm there to win. And some days I win better than others. Some days, I don't win. But you know what? Wins and losses, they're all important because when you lose, you learn how to lose with class, with dignity, and as a professional, but you can learn from that. And if you play that same team or that same situation comes up, you know that how you're going to handle it so you can put the W on the board versus, the L. And if you're not making mistakes and you're not losing out there, you're not working hard enough because every day I make mistakes but I learn from them. But you want to have more wins than losses. But whether whichever way they go, you're going to learn from them. And you got to have an open mind, but having that positive mindset and keeping all the negative thoughts out there, that's the total way to live your life. Because life is quick, especially when you get older. The days go quicker, you don't get as much sleep, and like I said, last month I wrote kind of a little diatribe on my life. And a lot of people probably didn't even know. And but that's kind of where my head was at. And I'm not ashamed of anything like that. I wouldn't done changed anything over my past, because it molded me who I am today. The only difference is that I'm probably a little more or less, what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm just much more mellower than I was, back in the day. But I have some crazy stories, and maybe one of these days I'll put it on a book, and people are like, "Oh my God, did you read Corson's book? That thing's got to be out." So I'm inspired to write my book just because hearing your story, which doesn't even come close to what yours is, and and you're a chef too. Who doesn't love food? So that's awesome quote. So as we finish up here, just a couple things for everybody out there. If you're on the construction site, we want you to be safe. Once you get home, you want you to be able to eat dinner, maybe use some of Frankie's recipes. You know, you want to spend time with your wife or your husband, your kids, your dogs, your cats, your turtle, whatever it might be. Get some REM sleep and get up and be able to do it the next day. Number two, we want you to stay hydrated. Okay. You know, summer's coming. I'm down in here in Atlanta. It's getting hot. If you don't stay hydrated, you put some of those electrolytes in your body, you get dehydrated. When you get dehydrated, you get headaches. And when you get headaches, you make mistakes. That's the athlete in me. It doesn't matter though, but if you're on the construction site, make sure you're drinking lots of liquid, stay hydrated, and you're going to have a much better day and you're going to sleep much better that evening. Lastly, hit the like button. That way people can find this episode out there on the wild, wild web where you Google. And, we hope you'd enjoyed it. So, Frankie, pleasure meeting you. And like I said, I'm going to put we'll put your link down in the description and stuff. And what's your favorite recipe out of the book before we leave?
Well, I like the spaghetti San Marzano with meatballs because it's simple and it's easy and it reminds me of my mother and grandmother. And
Oh,
simple is always better. If you try our meatballs Magnifico with our Supremo San Marzano tomato sauce, you won't find any better anywhere, and you'll be excited.
so everybody out there in commercial construction coffee talk, all right? Frankie's going to send me a couple of books. If you want a book, all right, I'm only going to get a couple of them, but I'll have the description on there where you can find it on Amazon. And Frank, you're going to sign them, right? So that they're official, correct? Will you sign them for me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but
So
but please send me your address so I can send them to you.
no, I definitely will. We'll communicate after this for sure. You got to proof your episode and stuff. But listen, I'm
Okay.
gonna have a couple of books from Frankie, and they'll be signed. And if you're interested in getting one, shoot me a note. You know where I'm at, and we'll send them to you. So with that said, Frankie, pleasure meeting you. Enjoy the Memorial Day weekend, and listen, everybody. Memorial Day is about people who sacrificed, who gave the ultimate sacrifice to protect us so we can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, to all the military families out there that had loved ones who've passed, my grandfather was a lieutenant colonel underneath Patton in World War II. I come from a military family. So, my heart and prayers go out to everybody, that had loved ones that, gave it their all. And that's what Memorial Day is about. It's not about drinking beers and hot dogs and hanging out. I mean, that's all good stuff. But remember what the holiday is about. It's about remembering the people that made your life be able to, to enjoy it these days. So, Frankie, listen, if I ever get out to Colorado, and it's like a second state for me in my home, and uh, I'd love to meet you in person, you know.
No, no problem at all. And I'll take you to one of the best Italian restaurants in the country in Pueblo, Colorado, that I consult for.
Yeah,
Rosario's
it's been a
Italian
while since
Restaurant.
I've been in Pueblo, but I know exactly where it is, And
Yeah.
actually, one of my lacrosse guys, he graduated from Alpharetta High School. He's our face-off guy.
Mhm.
He got into school down in the college down in Pueblo. They have, I think it's a D2 lacrosse team. So, uh, anyway, I listen. You offer, I will take that up. Okay, we got a
No,
date.
no problem.
All right. So, Frankie, say goodbye from Southern Colorado.
And well, goodbye. And don't forget to go to Amazon and take a look at our book.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I really appreciate the opportunity.
My pleasure. And listen, I'm going to sign off from Sugar Hill, just below the Beaufort Dam, about 30 miles north of downtown Atlanta. And everybody, listen, it's TGIF today. You got the weekend, you got Monday off, and Memorial Day. Remember, like I said, what it means, but enjoy your time with your family and friends. And remember, Tuesday's going to come and we got to do it all over again, get back on the horse. And you got the summer coming and the second half of the year. And you just got to stay positive, keep those blinders on, positive mindset, and all that good stuff. So, with that said, we will see you next time on another episode of Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. And all you Pio fans out there, go Pios, watch the game tomorrow, noon Eastern in Philly. Got to beat those Irish so we can play on Monday. So, with that said, Frankie, pleasure. And everybody out there, we'll catch you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.